Okay. So good afternoon, students. Hello, everyone. Welcome. How are you guys doing?
Great.
You're doing great. Oh, that's very good. That's very good. So today we're doing mathematics, but before we do mathematics, I'll allow teacher to quickly do a little bit of a warm-up with you guys. So are you all ready to start? Yes. Are we ready?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Teacher, you can start with a warm-up for them. Before
Okay. Guys, please open your camera.
everyone, please turn on your cameras. Please turn on your cameras.
We're gonna do activity. We're gonna do like this. Can you act like this? Please throw left hand like this. Eat, and this is L. We're gonna switch 10 times. Let me example. 1, 2. Can you do that? Okay. 10 times. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, good job. Thank
Good
you.
job, everyone. Okay, so let's jump right into it. As per last week, we talked about some word problems and also the importance of word problems and how we can answer them. The first part we looked at was word problems surrounding the perimeter of a polygon. Now today we're also going to still carry on with word problems, but today we're going to look at the word problems around the area of polygons. Now I'll keep this page here and we can come back to it if we forget some of the formulas. But first off, I quickly want to practice the formulas with you so that we make sure that we remember them and also understand exactly how they work. So the first one we look at is the area of a triangle. So we have done all of these before, but I do believe that the more we talk about it, the easier it gets to remember. So the first one, area of a triangle equals a half times B times H. Now the B equals the base and the H equals the vertical height. Okay, very straightforward. We just have to add in the numbers and follow the formula. The next one is a square. Now a square is very simple because all sides are the same length. So for the area of a square, we use the formula A squared, or we can use A multiplied by A. Okay, next one is the rectangle. Rectangle is also very similar because it has two sides with the same length and two sides with the same length. But those sides are opposite each other. And for that, we use W times H, meaning width times height, to calculate that area. Okay, the ones that are a little bit more tricky are the parallelograms and the rhombuses and the trapezia. So what is the formula for the area of a parallelogram or a rhombus? It's also base times height, but this height is a vertical height. Where do we find vertical heights? Where there is triangles. So you can see in the area of a triangle, they also talk about vertical height. And the area of parallelograms, rhombuses, and trapezia, they also use H as vertical height. So the trapezia is probably the one which has the longest formula. So this is also the one we have to practice so that we can remember it. So a trapezia is when you have two triangles at the ends, but they are not the same size triangles. Okay, So for that, we use half times A plus B times H. Now, A is the length of a side. So that's going to be the side that is opposite the base over here. That's the length of a side. B is going to be our base, and H is our vertical height. Okay. And the last one over here is the area of regular polygons. So the area of regular polygons equals half times P times A. Now P equals the perimeter, which is the sum of all the sides. And A is the apothem, which is from the center straight down to one of the sides at a 90-degree angle. So that length we call the apothem. Okay, so it's half times perimeter times apothem. Okay, so let's look at the first couple of questions, and these are going to be word problems about area of polygons. So we have to remember that word problems is very important because it shows us how we can use mathematics in our daily lives. So these are situations you might find during your daily life that you can apply mathematics to. So let's read and find out what they are going to show us. So a hotel needs to install new wallpaper in the lobby. Each wall has a width of 27 meters and a height of 4 meters. This new wallpaper costs 1,500 baht per square meter. If the hotel lobby has 5 walls, how much will it cost to install the new wallpaper? So firstly, what I like to do is grab either a pen, either a marker. Where's my marker now? You can either grab a marker or a pen or a highlighter to highlight the most important information. Because word problems are also designed to test us. And sometimes they give us a lot of information that we do not need just to confuse us. So that's why we use these pens and markers to highlight the most important information so that we know how we can answer the questions. So for this first one on top here, what I would do is we'd first read what they say. So the hotel needs to install new wallpaper. Okay, so we know it's about new wallpaper. So each wall has a width of 27 meters and a height of 4 meters. So if we read that, we already know we are working with a rectangle. A rectangle. Now you can also draw a picture for yourself to make sure that you understand. So the width is 27 and the height is 4. Okay. So the new wallpaper costs. So what is the cost? The cost is 1,500 baht per square meter. And if the hotel lobby has 5 walls, we know we have to multiply our answer by 5 to find out what the total cost would be. Okay. So if we calculate that, we can look at the example at the bottom of how they calculate that. So our plan is to find an area of each wall. Firstly, so we use the formula to find the area of a rectangle. After that, we find the total cost by using multiplication. So first, our area is width times height, 27 times 4. So for one wall, we have 108 square meters. But we want to have the total square meters for 5 walls. So we take our 108 and we multiply by 5. And that will give us 540 square meters. So now we know what is the total size of the wallpaper we need. And we also know what is the cost per square meter. So now it's very simple for us to take the total square meters of the 5 walls and we multiply by the cost per meter, per square meter, which is 1,500. So then we'll take our 540 square meters, multiply by 1,500 per square meter, and we're going to end up with 810,000 baht. And remember, when we write our answers while doing word problems, we have to write a small sentence. Okay. So that's just a quick explanation. Now I want to go and jump straight into an example so that we can see how we can use all this information. So on page 55 in our second books, we have a couple of questions. So let's go through the first question. And I want you guys to also give me the answer. So please, in your books, work with me and follow along so that I can make sure that you understand. And if at any point you do not understand, please, you can always ask me. You can raise your hand or send a message in the chat and I can then answer your question. Okay. So let's start off with number 1. Nice. Here we go, mathematics. Mary wants a new carpet for her living room. Her living room is rectangular. It has a length of 20 meters and a width of 16 meters. What is the size of the carpet that she needs to buy to cover her entire living room floor? Okay, so the first thing we do is we grab our marker and we read it again slowly, and then we mark the information that is required. So Mary wants a new carpet for her living room. So we know the living room is rectangular. So when we know that, we can already draw our shape so that we know what we have to look at. Secondly, it has a length of 20 meters and a width of 16 meters. So there's all the information we need to calculate the area. Plus, it asks us what is the size of the carpet if you want to cover the whole or the entire living room floor. So then we enter in our information here, 20 and 16. So first we start the area equals 20 times 16. You can tell me what is 20 times 16? You can quickly calculate that for me. 20 times 16.
320.
Very good. 320. Are we sure it's 320? Are we very sure? I think it is exactly what we need. But we also have to then say meters squared, because we work with meters over here, meters over here. So now that we have the answer, we have to write our small sentence. So how do we do it? We look at the question. We don't have to use our own words. We can look at the question, then answer the question. So what is the size of the carpet that she needs? The size of the carpet she needs is, and then we write our answer, 320 square meters. 320 square meters. So you can see that information I used to answer the question is already in the question. I don't have to use my own words or think of a very difficult sentence to answer the question. I can just use the last part of the question and then just swap the words around to give me an answer. Okay. So for number 2, This one I also want us to do together. So we'll do a couple together, but today we will finish off with this chapter. So we will have a little bit of homework to do. So let's read number 2. First we read before we mark, and then we come back to read it again. So number 2, the swimming pool has been installed. It is a square-shaped pool. Each wall is rectangular, which has a width of 5 meters and a height of 2 meters. Naomi wants to cover the pool's wall with marble tiles. Each marble tile has a width of 20 centimeters and a length of 25 centimeters. How many marble tiles does Naomi need? So here we can see it's a lot of information. Some of it is there to confuse us, and some of it we need. So now with our marker, let's read it again. So the new swimming pool has been installed. It is a square-shaped pool. This information is very important for you to see. It's not going to form part of our answer. This information is there to confuse you. Okay. Each wall is rectangular. So there's our shape, which has a width of 5 meters and a height of 2 meters. Naomi wants to cover the pool's wall with marble tiles. So she wants to cover the pool's wall. Each marble tile has a width of 20 centimeters and a length of 25. So how many marble tiles is required? So we have 2 shapes we have to take care of. The first one is the swimming pool wall. The next one is the tile. So again, we write our information on our picture. So the swimming pool wall has a width of 5 meters and a height of 2 meters. The marble tiles, see this one is meters, and the next one is centimeters. 25 centimeters and 20 centimeters. But why would they say the swimming pool has a square-shaped pool? The reason they tell us that is because they want us to multiply by 4. Because there's going to be 4 walls. And we want to cover the entire pool walls with marble. So that's why at the end we have to multiply by 4, and then we have to use division again. So first, let's calculate the first one. Area will equal 5 times 2. What is the area of the first one? What is 5 times 2? Who can tell me? 5 times 2 equals?
10.
10. Excellent. Equals 10 meters squared. Now is the very tricky part. We have to first multiply by 4 to get the total area of all 4 walls. So 10 times 4 will give us 40 meters squared. Okay, I'm going to stop at this one for now. Let's do the area of the other one. The area of the marble tiles will be 25 times 20. And what would that answer be? 25 times 20 equals?
500.
Excellent idea, excellent. Equals 500. But be careful. This is centimeters squared. Very important to make sure that we understand that there is a difference between meters squared and centimeters squared. So the area of one tile equals 500 square centimeters. The area of one wall of all 4 walls equals 40 square meters. So we know we cannot use, in mathematics, we cannot use items or numbers with different indices. So if you're working with meters, we have to work with meters. Or if you want to work with centimeters, we have to work the whole thing in centimeters. So the first thing we have to do is convert it either to centimeters, the area of the 4 walls, or we have to convert the area of 1 tile into meters squared. So to make it a little bit easier, we're going to convert the centimeters squared to meters squared. How do we do that? Can anyone tell me? How do we convert from centimeter to meter? Does anyone know? Who can tell me? If you're not sure, it's okay. Let me show you. If we have centimeters and we want to move to meters, we divide by 100. Because if you take a ruler, a ruler is 30 centimeters. But if you want to add up to 1 meter, it will add up to 100 centimeters equals 1 meter. So knowing this and doing the conversion, we then have to divide the 500 centimeters by 100 to get to meters squared, or to get to meters. So let's remove this one over here. And we say 500 divided by 100 equals how much? Who can tell me? Equals 5 meters squared. Okay. So now that we know that is the size of 1 tile, and we know the total area of the wall, we have to divide again. So we're going to divide the 40, divide by 5, to find out how many tiles we need. And that's going to give us 40 divided by 5 equals 8 tiles. Which then we can say, we need 8 marble tiles. You can just say we need 8 marble tiles. How many marble tiles do we need? We need 8, or we can say Naomi needs 8 tiles. Okay. If I'm going a little bit fast or you don't understand, please inform me so I can slow down. So now we have 2 more. Nice long reading we have to do. So it's very important while we do word problems to read carefully, but also make sure we don't read the whole thing at once. We have to break it down because it's a lot of information. Especially some of these can be a lot of information. So let's read number 3. Mr. Ben needs to fertilize his regular pentagon-shaped flower garden. 1 square meter needs 4 bags of fertilizer. Mr. Ben does not know the total area of his garden, but he uses 35 meters of wire to make the fence around his garden. He usually walks from the garden to the gate, and is located in the center of the fence to sit on a bench. It must be around 4 meters to get to the bench. Help Mr. Ben find out how many bags of fertilizer he would need to fertilize his garden. So again, let's start off by reading. Mr. Ben needs to fertilize his regular pentagon-shaped flower garden. A pentagon has how many sides? Who can tell me? A pentagon has how many sides? Anyone? Does anyone know? Penta meaning 5. Penta has 5 sides. Remember, we have the triangle, the square, the pentagon, the hexagon, heptagon, octagon, nonagon, and decagon is from 3 to 10. So penta equals 5. The way we can remember that is there is the Pentagon in America, which has 5-sided building. So we know we have 5 sides. And it says here, 1 square meter needs 4 bags of fertilizer. So Mr. Ben does not know the total area of his garden, but he uses 35 meters of wire to make a fence around his garden. What does that mean? 35 meters around the garden. What does that mean? It means it is the perimeter. The perimeter is 35 meters. Okay. And then he says that the bench that he sits on is in the center of the garden. And that's about 4 meters. So if I quickly want to draw that shape, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is our pentagon. Sorry, it's not perfect, but it's difficult to draw accurately here. So we have the middle where the bench is, and we have the apothem, which he says is 4 meters. And then the circumference, he says, is 35 meters. So now we can say area equals half times perimeter times apothem. Do you agree? Yes or no? Area of a regular polygon, yes or no? Do we agree? Go back here to the first page. You can look in your books, page 48. They'll show us half times P times A. Okay. So then we start calculating. Half times 35 times 4. So first do 35 times 4. What equals 35 times 4? Equals? You can tell me. What is 35 times 4?
140.
Yes, Upo, thank you very much. It's 140. And if we times that by a half or divide by 2, it equals 70 meters squared. But remember, our information that is required is to find out how much or how many bags of fertilizer we need. And we know for 1 square meter, we need 4 bags. So then we take our 70 and we times that by 4 to get the amount of fertilizer bags. Okay. So 70 times 4 equals 280 meters squared. Okay. So that's going to be, sorry, I'm making a mistake here. Equals 280 bags of fertilizer. Bags of, I'm just going to write FERT for short. Bags of fertilizer. So now we have that, we can write our sentence. So I'm going to remove, or maybe I'll just write it here. Then you can say, Mr. Ben needs 280 bags of fertilizer. Okay, as our final answer here. Do you guys understand? Are you guys with me? I'm not sure. You guys are very quiet today, so I'm not sure if you guys understand. But number 4, I'm not going to do because the time will catch us. 1 + 4 and 5, I'm not going to do. The time is definitely going to catch us. What I want us to do is on page 58 and 59, we have number 1 and number 2. I want us to complete these ones for homework. But when you are doing this and you are maybe not sure about what to do, please, you can always contact us on the line group if you are unsure, so we can explain to you again. So please don't be shy to ask us, because I really want to help you guys to understand. So this is the end of this chapter. So once we come to Friday, we'll start with something new. So this is also your final time to ask us any questions about these pentagons and areas and perimeters. Remember also page 59 also has a couple of questions. They only do the first 3 here, and they do the first 7 or all 7 on page 58. Are you guys still with me? Ooh. Today it feels like teacher is speaking a lot. So, what did we talk about today? Let's see if you guys followed along. What was our discussion about today? Anyone tell me? What did we talk about today? Who can tell me?
Word problems.
Excellent, excellent. We talked about word problems. Now, word problems is something I would really like to focus on also in the next lessons, because they can become very difficult if you do not understand the information. So if you read any of the questions and you are unsure, please send us a message so we can explain. Even if it's just asking, teacher, should I multiply or should I divide? Or plus or minus. Those are simple questions you can ask us, and we will be able to give you some feedback and help you guys so that you can understand and also make sure that you can do it properly without making any mistakes. Okay, so we started a little bit late today. We will not play rock, paper, scissors today, but we can play it on Friday. And I want to say thank you for everyone for joining my class today. And for those that participated, thank you very much. And I hope you guys have an amazing day and a great week ahead of you. And I will see you then again on Friday. Bye-bye.
Bye. Goodbye. Goodbye.